Well, alright. VRG with Deep Rock Galactic's virtual reality mod is out now in open beta, and I will just say it is fantastic. Works a lot better than I thought it would, and I think it works a lot better than what most people who see a VR mod would assume that it does. A lot of hard work went into this to make it work well, I can already tell. And if you want to install it for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description to the mod and to a video showing how to install it properly. It takes a little bit of time. It's not too confusing, but it's a little bit more involved than just clicking install in mod.io. So, what's good, what's bad, and why do I say it's the best VR game there? Let's get into it. So, VRG has turned Deep Rock Galactic into an entirely VR game. It works, everything from the space rig down to completing a mission, it all works. It's not perfect, there are some bugs, and if you're watching the video now, you'll notice some jittering here and there, some freezing, but that is mostly going to be fixed pretty soon, according to the developers of this mod. Again, it's open beta, but this mod already gets so much right, where I think it is worth for most people to check it out as of right now. So, what does the mod do right? Well, holstering your weapons, equipment, etc. works tremendously well. I'm very surprised because this seems like something that would, for most cases, be pretty difficult to implement. The holstering here works very, very well. Being able to grab onto a flare and hold it and bring it along with you in different caves, to me, was an amazing addition, which, while in the normal game I understand doesn't make sense, here it makes the flares a lot more interactive, a lot more immersive. You're able to now hold a flare, bring it along with you, keep it with you for a while, and it prevents a lot of needless arm flailing. And that's a lot of this mod too, is it doesn't make you do a lot of arm flailing if you don't want to. Point to more arm flailing that you don't have to do. The pickaxe is bound to a button, which is very, very helpful. Again, no arm flailing. You can also do gestures to call Molly, but there's also a menu in the game which lets you just call her from a button press, and it works very, very well. The use button is also here, so you will interact with things using one of the buttons on your controller, and it works pretty well here. You don't have to smack things physically with a hammer, which would just result in you flailing your arms around. You're doing that enough when you're trying to shoot at bugs. You don't really need to be doing that to smack things with a hammer. The gesturing for one rock and stone, doing the salute, works very well. It's very fun, interesting, and fluid. I think it serves its purpose very, very well. Some bonuses that this VR mod has is, to me, it made traversing the caves a lot more fun. It made it a lot more terrifying, as the sense of dread that you get from the darkness of the caves is really amplified in VR. The sense of scale is also massively improved here. Although I don't think that the normal game did it poorly, I think here it just amplifies it up to a level that is really, really good, and I genuinely look forward to playing with this a lot more in the future. Crossing gaps, which in most cases would just be not too worrying in VR, your heart races the whole time. At some point in this playthrough that I was doing with my engineer, I was building a bridge with the platforms, and crossing it was really, really scary. It shouldn't have been normally, but here it just was. Jumping around and falling to your death is a lot more terrifying in VR, especially as someone who has pretty bad fear of heights. You can pet Lootbugs in VR. It's the best thing, of course. And you can also shoot them in VR. It's pretty cool. Some of the weapons are a little bit more powerful in VR than they would be in a standard game. Like of the engineer's laser secondary, it's literally just a laser pointer in this mod. It was not a very high difficulty here, but I can imagine even the higher difficulties that this laser pointer is pretty strong. Because you can just play that around at anything that you can see, and it's pretty overpowered, but I like it. It's very, very fun. It's a lot of good. Where's the bad? Well, not too much, to be honest. Most of it just has to do with bugs. I wasn't able to switch characters in the mod because whenever I would, the UI would glitch out. If you are paying much attention in the background, you'll notice these black squares show up sometimes. I was unable to capture the 3D map in-game or any of the UI. It just showed up as black squares. I was able to see in one eye of mine, but not the other, and at some point it just kind of broke, so it was only ever black squares afterwards. This makes traversing the caves and finding out where the drop pod lands in the Aquark mission pretty difficult, but I was able to, through my experience with the game, just locate where the drop pod was at the end, so I was able to get out. So that's a UI bug. There's interaction things such as drinking. In the game you can't do that very easily. I had to use my keyboard to actually drink the buff beers or any of the cosmetic beers in the game. I think a lot of the problems right now just has to do with UI, but I guarantee that they'll be fixed very, very soon. The only other things that I can really think of is the engineer's auto-locking rifle that I was using in the actual video that you're watching now. The lock-on didn't actually go from where I was pointing, it was where I was looking with my head. It's pretty easy to figure out, and once I did, it wasn't too bad, but it's a little bit of a nitpick there. So, there's a lot of good, not too much bad. If you have a VR headset and you like Deep Rock Galactic, I would genuinely recommend checking this out. If you are looking into getting VR, I do not think that this is a game that is worth buying an entire headset for, but if you're very interested in Deep Rock Galactic and you want to play it a new way, I wouldn't be opposed to the idea of buying a VR headset just to play this mod. It's very, very good. Maybe wait for it to come out of beta though, of course. Of all the VR games I've played, and I've played most of them, this is by far the best one, and it's in beta still, and it's a mod, so that's saying a lot about the state of VR. So, for those of you who don't have VR, you're not really missing much. This is the best we have so far, genuinely. Most of the games that we have now are slightly above average story games with not much replay value, except you can pick stuff up and move it around. It's so cool. Some games are really good, like Half-Life Alyx and Boneworks, but they don't really have much replay value outside of those without mods. And VRG as itself is just a really, really fun game that just so happens to now support VR thanks to a fantastically made mod. All credit goes to the mod developers. I'll leave a link to their Discord in the description as well as the videos showing how to install it and the install link itself. If you guys liked the video, like, subscribe if you want to see some more. I'll be covering more lore content in the future, and hoping to get back into streaming soon. I might be streaming this VRG mod pretty soon, I hope. It's just a performance thing, so if I'm unable to get it to work, we'll wait a little bit for some updates to performance, and then we'll go ahead and we'll stream it. So I'll have links down in the description for that kind of stuff. More lore content though, coming soon, more theories. If you have theories you want me to cover, comment them. I love hearing that stuff. I love replying to comments too, you're all so fun. But until then, bye bye.